Yo, what's good my fellow deadheads? Your overlord has returned, back with yet another JJK Phantom Parade video. We are covering the SP buffs today for Blue Camo, Blue Yuji, and Yellow Junpei. And I have already done a video on Blue Camo, go check that one out today. Do your homework, please, guys. But today we're going to be talking about Blue Yuji. So Blue Camo's SP buffs, none of the SP buffs are actually on the wiki right now. I'm actually viewing this from the Discord. And I'll be honest with you, I think that Yuji's buff is probably the most confusing one, because I'm pretty sure originally I had seen that two of Yuji's skills had gotten buffed, but it is now, actually no, it says right here that Yuji's auto skills are the only thing that got buffed. So I guess they just kind of changed the way the passives worked around Yuji's kit versus actually changing the skills themselves. So I guess we might be doing a little bit more reading into the skills, because we're gonna have to look into the skills a little bit more just to see how the autos, how the auto skills are playing off of them. But if you guys do enjoy videos like these, then you can definitely go down below. You can hit the like button, you can hit the subscribe, you can hit the notification bell, and you can also comment down below and let me know what you want to know. But without further ado, we're gonna get into the video and talk about Blue Yuji's SP buffs. So I think because only his auto skills are the things that got changed in his SP buff, apparently, I am going to first read over his skills just to familiarize myself with them, because I do have Blue Yuji, but I have not actually used him. I have not had a need to use him just because of other blue characters that I have. My blue is actually pretty flooded with units, I'll be honest. But we're going to go ahead and just read over the skills just to give ourselves an idea of what everything does again, so that when we're reading the auto skills, we can have a better idea, a better semblance of what's actually going on in relation to his skills. His skill 1 is just a damage dealing skill, deals 180.3% melee taijutsu damage to selected enemies, so close range taijutsu based damage. Skill 2 deals, and it deals 15 cursed energy, but when you get to a specific state, I guess it costs 5 cursed energy less, like the cursed energy efficiency thing. Or no, it only costs 5, it costs 10 less. Okay. Deals 280% melee taijutsu damage to the selected enemy, and then increases the selected enemy's damage received by 22.5% for 2 turns. Not bad, okay. Skill 3 deals 362.5% melee taijutsu damage to the selected enemy, and then increases own and ally behind's ultimate skill gauge charge rate by 10% for 2 turns. For some reason, I'm already thinking about compositions with like Blue Yuji and Sukuna or something like that, just to get Sukuna his ultimate a little bit faster. But this skill, whenever you do something specific, can cost only 15 cursed energy as opposed to 25. Very interesting, that reduced cost. Let's see. Ultimate deals 931% melee taijutsu damage to a selected enemy, stuns the selected enemy with a 76% chance all the way at level 10. I feel like we could be a lot closer to 100% with an ultimate, and then increases own critical hit rate by 35% for 6 turns. So I mean, mainly just dealing damage and supporting the ally behind, it seems, but probably trying to tank a lot of stuff himself. No, because he's increasing the enemy's damage received. So he's just a debuffing attacker, it seems. Okay, so I have an idea here. Then his auto skills. By the way, guys, the 2 auto skills that got changed are rapid fire attacks and then searching for a righteous death, but I still want to read all this first to get an idea. At the start of battle, grants poison and soul resistance to self. That's typical on Yuji characters. Rapid fire attacks. When targeting the same enemy multiple times, increases own damage dealt by 15% for every attack performed up to 55%. Skills with multiple hits are counted as a single attack. Okay? Searching for a righteous death. I do like how his passive works, by the way. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that out there. And I remember I was reading over this, talking about what could we see for his passive change. I was saying that maybe we see this change to something like 20%, and then this change to like something like 80%, because this right here, once you do 4 attacks, this is fully maxed out. This is fully realized, because 15% times 4 will be 60%. But, you know, 15% times 3 is 45%. So you have to do 4 attacks right here to max it out. So I was saying, you know, to keep it in the same vein, we can do this 20, this 80, so that instead it is still 4 attacks you have to do, but now when you do the 4th attack, you're actually getting the full, you know, utilization of the 15% stacks, right? Because with this, by the time you do the 4th stack, you're missing out on an extra 5%, but I digress. Searching for a righteous death. At the start of each turn, if any ally's HP is 40% or below, Excludes self up to 1 time during battle. Attract all enemies attack for 1 turn. Reduces own damage received by 25% for 1 turn. And grants revival status to self for 1 time. And then Zone Outburst. When Black Flash is performed, decreases cursed energy cost of skills by 10 for 5 turns. Oh my gosh. That is ridiculous. His Zone Outburst is his skills just cost 10 less. Bro, Yuji is a Black Flash machine. Any form of Yuji, Black Flash machine. That is absolutely insane. I did not know that. Wow, that's crazy. We're learning a lot today, chat. But now, let's take a look at the auto skills and see how they have improved. Now, I will say, I did read over one part of Yuji's auto skills, and I was like, that just doesn't sound right to me. That doesn't seem like it makes sense why they would do that. Okay, look. At the start of turn, Blue G's auto skill combo enhancement or rapid fire attacks is what this auto skill is. At the start of turn, increases own taijutsu stat by 20% for 1 turn. So that's very good. At the start of turn, you are getting a base 20%. I guess that makes sense. Okay. So start of turn, 20% taijutsu stat. Then increase further with combo count up to 150%, 15 counts. Each count gives an additional 8% stat. So the reason why I was saying this doesn't really make much sense to me is because Yuji getting 8% boost to his stats every time he does an attack, it doesn't make much sense when he used to already get 15% boost to his damage dealt every time he did an attack. But then when you consider the fact that Yuji is starting at 20% already and is working his way all the way up to 150%, it actually just works a lot better because right here, you need to do 4 attacks, bare none, stock standard to even get up to this 55% right here. Now the way that Yuji is designed, you automatically have 20% always at the start of your turn. Then pretty much every turn after that, you're gonna have a certain number of combo counts because here's the rest of the skill. It said that if you can have up to 15 counts of combo attack and have 150% extra taijutsu stat on this man, right? So if your own combo count is below 14 and you are attacking an enemy, plus 1 combo count. If your combat count is below 14 and then you're receiving damage, plus 2 combo count. So every time Yuji gets hit, he gets 2 combo counts. Every time you hit somebody with Yuji, he gets 1 combo count. So that is another thing that I was failing to realize. Yuji is now getting combo counts whenever he is getting hit and whenever he is giving hits as well. But even if he wasn't getting combo counts whenever he was receiving hits, which he's getting 2 of them whenever he gets hit, by the way, all of a sudden, yes, Yuji could start out at 15% from the first attack as opposed to getting 8% from the first attack. But when you literally think about the fact you're starting out at 20%, you hit 1, you're already at 28% versus being at 15%. You hit the second one, you're already at 36% versus being at 30%. You hit the next one, you're already at 44% versus 45%. But also you have to consider that Yuji is also getting hit. So it's like by time you would have been to the 55% with the original way this worked, like you would have already shot way past that stat anyway. So that's really insane. And see, this is why we go back and reread things, and this is especially why we go back and reread things after we're not half awake, half alive. But we're going to go ahead and look at the next auto skill, and then using skill 3 or an ultimate on the same enemy decreases that enemy's damage dealt by 15% for 2 turns. So not only is he increasing his own damage dealt and protecting your team, he's also protecting your team in the sense that he's making the enemy hit weaker as well. So very, very good improvement on that passive alone. Now, let's see if I can use my ultimate context clues here. Oh, wait. At the start of 8th turn, increases own taijutsu stat by 30% and then recovers own cursed energy by 10 without maximum cursed energy cap. That is the entirety of the skill, rapid fire attacks now. I'm sorry. So now we have increased jujutsu stat by 20%, or taijutsu stat by 20% at the start of every turn for 1 turn. Increases it further with every combo count, 8% stat extra boost for every combo count up to 15 for a total of 150%. Then, you stack combo counts per one time you hit the same enemy, or actually it doesn't even say hit the same enemy anymore. It just says attacking an enemy. Then you also receive +2 combo counts when getting an attack from an enemy. Then when you use your skill 3 or your ultimate skill, you decrease that enemy's damage dealt by 15% for 2 turns, and it doesn't say that that cannot stack, so I don't know, maybe you could. Then also from the 8th turn of battle, you get 30% Jujutsu and recover your own cursed energy by 10 without maximum cursed energy cap. Now, I do not know what that means in the sense, like, does it just recover 10 cursed energy every turn for you? Because that's OP as shit. Like, Yuji, oh my gosh, Yuji might be absolutely disgusting here, chat. We're going to go ahead and look at his next auto skill, and I'm going to stop glazing that one. Okay, searching for a righteous death. If an ally's HP is 60% or below at the start of turn, and ally's guard is activated. What is ally's guard? Oh, okay, let's see. At the start of battle, grants revival status to stealth 1 time, and then grants ally's guard status to self for 1 time. I have no idea what ally's guard status is, and this isn't telling me what ally's guard status is. But just know that it is an extra buff that Yuji has now. If any ally's HP is 60% or below at the start of turn, and ally's guard is activated. So I was saying that I don't see them moving this up to like a higher HP threshold. They actually did, which is insane. But then they also limited it by putting on a new buff and making it so you have to have that buff as well. But I think you can get that buff back. So if you get that buff back, you could actually probably get this to happen again, which is a little bit better. Well, no, that's way better actually, because you can, I mean, get it to happen again now. Let's see. So now, if ally's HP is 60% or below at the start of turn, and ally's guard is activated, attracts all enemy attacks itself for 1 turn. That did not change. Reduces own damage received by 60% for 1 turn versus this measly little 25%. Okay. Then recovers own cursed energy by 10 without maximum cursed energy cap. That wasn't even a part of this. This man's just giving himself cursed energy. Like, bro, these characters who just give themselves an overabundance of cursed energy, those characters are the ones who are really making moves, bro. Because, like, this man has an ability where he is lowering his skills by 10 cursed energy, and then he's giving himself 10 cursed energy in 2 different places in his kit. Like, it's gonna be insane the things you can do with this man. Like, once you get to the long run in the battle, this man Yuji's gonna pretty much become infinite, bro. And then, let's see, remove ally's guard status. Ally's guard can be granted again after 3 turns. So that effect that happens if an ally falls below 60%, that makes you lose the ally's guard status. After 3 turns, you can gain the ally's guard status back again, and then all that stuff can happen again. Versus how it could have only happened 1 time in battle. And again, the revival status is actually a separate thing from the ally's guard. So the revival status is not going to be granted once again whenever the ally's guard comes back. It's just like an initial when this battle starts kind of thing. But damn, this Yuji looks crazy, chat. And they just that's very interesting to me though, that they just thought to change his passives instead of his skills. This is why SP buffs are super cool, but also why I say that they aren't like Extreme Z Awakenings, because like they literally are just completing the rest of these characters' kits individually. Right now, what it feels like they're doing is the characters were like skeletons and muscle. All right, let's put the skin on the characters and finish them off. That's what that feels like. That's what it feels like they're doing right now, because like all of these things that they're doing are just so intuitive to how the character works that it almost feels like, why was this not out when the character first released? But nonetheless, I'm still very happy to see these improvements. I think the system that would be more like Easy A's would be a more standardized system, right? So instead of it being like, okay, this Yuji over here is getting some passives buffed, while this Junpei over here is getting some skills buffed, and this character over here is getting this buffed. I think that the system that would be more similar to Easy A would be very standardized amongst all units, so that like, you know how in Dokkan, whenever a character Easy A's, what you're always looking at, if it's a non-LR character, what you're always looking at is, okay, new super attack effect, new passive, new leader skill, new stats. If all 4 of those things are not changing on the character in Dokkan. I'm not saying people aren't hype about it, but it's just like people just know that that's something else, that's something different, right? We want to see a more standardized, like all around, like, okay, we buffed everything in the character skill. Okay, all of the skills get improved, or all of the skills get like an extra level, and there's like a new event that we can do for a new extra hard weapon upgrade or skill upgrade material that like free-to-play players can do too, because there are options for free-to-play units, and then there's also options for like sweaty units as well that Wells have. Maybe it's just a little bit harder with the free-to-play units. Like, we want to see things like that where all the skill levels level up by like 1 level, you know, and then maybe they're passive, they add another auto skill onto the character, because some characters don't even have an auto skill at all. Just little things like that, but something that can be standard and put across every single character. Dude, you know what I just thought of? You know what? No, I'll save that for another video. We will leave it to what it is. But guys, that is going to be it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed as the dead man fights his crazy battle against Hiccups. Leave a like down below. Also hit the comment and let me know, do you like this Yuji's buffs? I think this Yuji actually looks pretty freaking incredible. But also you can subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can get notified every single time the dead man decides to glide. That's gonna be it for your boy DEADMANVINCE. We got Junpei to talk about, and boy, that man is cooking. But that's gonna be it for your boy today. The dead man does love you. Peace out, solo. What? I was gonna say solo levelers. What the fuck? Peace out, Magic Knights.